Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have made it to Thursday Night Football Countdown. I'm Jason Draven here to answer all of your start-sit questions. Please get those in. We have 30 minutes until kickoff, and you know I have you covered. Already, shouldn't be surprised. No Surtain tonight. Kind of expected that. No Marvin Mims. So, unfortunately, the people that I am interested in aren't actually the quarterbacks. I really like the Broncos defense still. You're going to likely play Bowers. It's going to be too hard to get away from Genty. And I have RJ Harvey above J.K. Dobbins. So when you're looking at items for specifically this game, that is what I'm looking for. Broncos are 9.5-point favorites. That seems way too high, mostly because I don't think this game is massive. So with that in mind, the over-under is 42.5, which is surprisingly higher than I expected it to be, considering the Colts and Falcons game is 48.5. I also expected that game to be a lower scoring game. So looking at that, I'm going to go under for sure. Good evening, BTFU. Need to choose one for the flex. Downs, Pitt. Oy. Not going Pitt. It's probably going to be Downs. I like the idea of Franklin, but this just isn't a game that I think they'll need to use him. PPR, he's probably going to be okay. It's similar to Downs, but Downs has been scoring touchdowns a little more frequently as of late. We kind of touched on it last night, but it's very difficult for me to really want to play Franklin because, again, like I was saying, this game to me has a much lower over-under. They have it set at 42.5, which I think is still high. But that's what, 21 points apiece roughly, and that's, yeah. It's tough. I just don't see it happening with the Broncos, a 9.5-point favorite, which is also insane. So, Brian, oh no, I hate that for you. Kraft is doing so well, so I need Fannin, Hawkinson, Jawan, or Loveland. Well, Fannin popped up on the injury report, so I don't love that. If it's PPR, I'm probably going Jawan. I think he gives you a safe number. However, if you want the upside, it's going to be Loveland. Again, we've really seen him come on. He's getting a lot of usage. And again, Komet just can't seem to stay healthy. Still dealing with injury. So that always makes me nervous as a manager of a tight end that's injured. He had limited practices yesterday and today, which you don't love to see. He probably will play, but again, all it's going to take is one hit. So I'm probably going to say Loveland if you need the upside. Otherwise, if it's PPR, Jawan's your safe play for sure. And again, Fannin being on the injury report scares me. I'm staying away from Hawkinson with JJ back. You don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. All of that scares me. But if you guys have questions, please get them in. I will only be here as long as there's questions, because this game I don't feel like has a whole lot going on for it, unfortunately, because, yeah, like I said, you're starting RJ Harvey probably. You're starting maybe Dobbins. I don't love that as much. I expect Harvey, who we talked about yesterday, seeing an uptick in usage and just this matchup. So anytime the Broncos lead, they normally go to Harvey to let him get more work in. So I think that's definitely a benefit. And again, because you get to see this young rookie go at it and really grow as a player. So they're continuing to use him. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. All right. Anything else? You guys have more questions, please get them asked. And like and subscribe as always. I'll answer all the questions I can. I know there's a bunch in the FLA app that I didn't get to, or Bleacher Nation now. But a lot of people are asking, for example, do I like Kyle Monangai, Trevion Henderson, or Kamani Vidal? Henderson, we're still waiting to hear on Ramondre Stevenson, but even then, I'd much rather play Monangai, so it makes it difficult for me to really want to use that at all. All right, Abram. Let's see. Half PPR, pick 2. Trey. Guessing that's Trey Tucker. Loveland, Henderson, Shaheed, or Tez. As of now, it's going to be Tez and Henderson. If Ramondre Stevenson plays, I would then go to Loveland. I get Wine to play Trey, but with Bowers back and Genty, they really need to lean on those two. All right, Daniel, would you still start Jawan over Loveland, Theo, or Ertz? It really, again, so it really is dependent on you. In PPR, I think Johnson is just such a safe number. And so, for example, if you are projected to lose, I'd probably play Loveland. It's close probably with Ertz, but oh, you have Ertz on your team. So, yeah, I'd play Ertz if you need the upside. Otherwise, I'm playing Johnson because I think that point is going to be a lot safer for me. All right, Luke. Need a win, don't we all? Already playing 2 Broncos tonight. Sutton and okay, pick one for the flex. Okay, at that point, I'm buying in, so I'm going to go with Monongai. I like what I've been seeing. The fact that they both had a full practice today is a good sign. I like the split. I think it's actually helping both of them stay healthy and have bigger runs. And while I don't love this game, I like it a little more for Monongai just because he has that explosivity factor. And as we talked about yesterday, Dobbins is going downhill when it comes to that. He's losing that burst. And so as the year goes on, we've kind of seen that. And that's also why I like Harvey so much tonight. But outside of that, yeah, I'm probably going to go Monongai to be safe. And also, you don't want to play that many people on a Thursday. It's just too risky. All right, pick 2. Wandale, Franklin, Shakir. I'm going to go... I'm still think I'm going to go Wandale and Franklin. Let me see who the Bills play. Bills play the Dolphins. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have to throw. Well, because he plays tonight, I have to go Franklin. If I could wait and see if Cook was playing, that might change my answer. But as of now, it's going to be Wandale and Franklin. All right, good luck. Lauren, of course, happy to help. Should I start Dobbins over Kyron Williams, Judkins, Swift, or Monongai? Yeah, I understand that, but as I touched on this year, when the Broncos have been leading, they have been giving the ball more to Harvey and not so much to Dobbins. So in this game, that's also why I have him higher ranked than Dobbins this week. Don't get me wrong, Dobbins should have a decent game. I'm expecting to be flirting with that 100-yard rushing again, but at this point, it's hard not to trust what Harvey can do in limited touches, and the fact that I do expect the Broncos to be winning, I think they're going to use him a lot more. But I'm not going to play Dobbins over Williams or Judkins. I might play him over Swift. I got to see who the Bears play, actually. Giants. Yeah, that's not a good matchup. I might play Dobbins over Swift, but I'm not playing him over Monongai. Luke, would you play QJ in place of Sutton to play Dobbins? I agree playing all 3 Broncos. No. So, I get QJ scored. He looked good. He had 3 for 30. However, that was also with Joe Alt in the game. I'm nervous with Alt out that we're going to have to trust Penning, who has, when he is forced to play tackle, which he should be forced to play tackle. I don't even know he's playing for sure this week. But if he is, I don't think it's going to help. For QJ, you really need to have time for the play to develop. It's something I've constantly been saying since we lost him the first time. So this is more of a Gadsden-Allen game because of the short area targets, maybe some of Vidal, but the matchup isn't good for him. So, okay, Daniel, need 2. Franklin, DJ Moore, Wandale, Monty, Tucker, Monongai. It's PPR, so I'm going to go Moore and Wandale. Easy peasy. What else? I'm trying to see if there's any big updates. I didn't see any massive things that would make me super nervous about playing anybody this week. I didn't like that Torrey Horton popped up on the injury report. That really annoyed me. I expected Seattle to be able to roll him out again. I still expected him to play, so he could still be a flex for you. But the fact that he popped up with a shin injury, I mean, I'm guessing it's shin splints because he's running so fast. I don't know. But it's just not something that you are wanting after such a good game for him. Anybody else? I hate seeing the limited practices for Seattle still. Brock needs to be out there, but they're still just seeming to ease him in, and I don't like that. why do I like Monangai over Swift? Well, Swift is coming off an injury, which always makes me nervous. And as of now, he's actually, we just saw what he could do with all the work, and with Swift being the older back, he's more likely to be hurt, and they want to keep him healthy because they're actually doing well enough that they might contend for something. Don't let them know that I said that because they will just get worse. But it's the fact that you have a player that was able to show out so strong for you, and you're currently 5-3. You're going up against the Giants, so it's a divisional game, which I don't love. But I still think the opportunity is going to be there, and his usage, I really like what I've seen from him. Don't get me wrong, Swift will have a great amount of work. I'm not worried about that. But I'm just trusting the young legs to continue to carry him, and then wanting to make sure that they have Swift for the times they actually need him and not just because. Pretty basic. I'm trying to think. I think, and at this point, they're almost directly a 50-50 split. We saw it, 2 weeks ago before, now I can't think of his name, before Swift went out. It was pretty much exactly that 50-50 split, which is just incredible. Granted, it was the Ravens who have stepped up massively, but in that game, Monangai was right there. They were going tit for tat, and the fact that he was, ideally he'd be used more in the passing game. I don't love that. I wish that they would use him more, but when it comes to between the tackles, I think he's the one that they're going to want to use as a battering ram more at this point, just due to his health. So, yeah, not ideal, but Swift did have a full practice today. If he has another full practice tomorrow, I might move Monangai down, but it's not enough for me to play Dobbins over either of them, mostly because I'm not scared of the Giants. And they're going to have to play. Like that's the big part of this, is that game should be a higher scoring one. Let me see what the line is right now. The Bears. So it's 47.5, so it's average. 48.5. It's 1, 2, 3. It's one of the top 5 scoring games this week, which you love to see, without a big over-under. All right, okay, Stakerad, Walker, White, Goddard. Guessing that's Ken Walker, Rashad White, and Goddard. You're picking 2. Well, no Bucky, it looks like, as of now. However, since it's half, I'm probably going to go Walker and Goddard. They need White, and he's going pass pro. So you like him more in PPR, and they're using Tucker just enough to make him viable as a flex, but it really hurts White. All right, Abram. Let's see. Njoku, Jawan, Loveland. Again, it's half. At that point, I think I'd go Loveland. Loveland gets the jump over Jawan in half PPR. Just a bit. All right. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm really excited for. I did see Brandon Ayuk is close to having his window open. That just tells you how severe this injury was. I don't like that at all. It's kind of brutal. Full practice, though, for Barkley and Brown. You like to see that. Looks like this team's going to be at full health. Unfortunately, I wish that Brown could take another seat because I really liked Smith this week. Had a good matchup against the Packers, but now it's going to be iffy. I'm really hoping this bye week helps restart the Eagles because it's been brutal watching that team. If Fannin sits, I might go Njoku. But again, that matchup is one of the lowest scoring games of the week right now on the Vegas over-under line. The Vegas has it at 38.5, which is pretty much the lowest that they'll give a team. So, Christian, what's up? Need 2. Wandale, Tet, McMillan, or Troy Franklin. Let me see. Who are the Panthers playing? Panthers are playing the Saints. I'm probably going to go Tet and Wandale. Again, I like Franklin, But with these two other options, I think there are more opportunities. And with the over-under on this game and the likelihood that the Broncos should be up, granted, that's part of my complaint for them last week was didn't think they'd have to do a whole lot, and then they continue to get themselves in horrible holes and have to dig out of it. So, should be okay, but just how it is. Well, let's see. Knicks or Dart? Ooh. I still think I have Dart higher. Let me double check. I have Dart at 5 and Knicks at 7. So it's going to be Dart, just a smidge. And then Tucker or Washington. Guessing that's Parker Washington. I'm going to play Parker over Trey Tucker. Matt, Harvey, or Marks? It's going to be Harvey for me. Perfect. Works out great for you. Good luck. Okay, State grad. Let's see. Do I think he's coming back? Yes. I just don't know why they are taking so long. I feel like at this point they should have given some kind of inkling as to what's going on, which just, again, it's whatever. But they're, I feel, when's their at the same point, their bye week's in week 14, so you're 4 weeks away. I don't like that because they could very easily have him for that, and I think that's too long. I would expect him back in, let's see, week 12. So I'm not going to have him this week. I'm guessing he's probably not going to be around next week. I would fire him up for 1 week just to see where he was, give him some reps on week 13, and then have him rest week 14 before they came back and hopefully are full strength. I'm nervous that they're also potentially waiting for Ayuk so they can just unleash everything and have all these options, which makes me even more nervous, which is also why they're holding back Purdy. And on that same note, they're 6-3, so why would you worry about it at this point? You're still in the hunt. You're in a good position. Granted, they are currently third in the NFC, but that doesn't really affect them, considering they have been playing without their best players. Like, it's pretty impressive. So, you're welcome. All right, if you guys have questions, get them asked, and I will get them answered for you. Yeah, it's weird. Been a weird one, that is for sure. I really am just surprised at how all of these games continue to come out of nowhere occasionally. It's like teams are taking time off and not thinking about their current matchup, and then I feel like the Broncos have continued to do that this year. So I would like them to have a statement game where they actually do win it handily and don't have to worry, but until that happens, scary. But, one more. Would do you play Parker Washington over BTJ in the future? We kind of touched on this last night, but we're both of us, Neil and I, both kind of think that we would be surprised if BTJ comes back. Mostly because of his health, the injuries. We don't know if he's been healthy all year, honestly. So, yes, I like Washington pretty much. Here, I'll double check to see where I have him. I feel like I have him pretty high. I currently have Parker Washington at Whoops, if I could actually spell Washington. So I have him at my wide receiver 28. He's around Jennings, Shakir, that kind of. Tez is right in front of him, so it's that kind of area for me. Slayton's right there, just behind him, because it's PPR, but it's all kind of a similar thing. So, yeah, not ideal. All right, well, there's no more questions. I'm going to get out of here. Hope you all have a wonderful Thursday night game. Good luck. I will be back on Sunday to help you set your lineups. So good luck, and remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense. Have a good one, guys.